He was heading into that subway station in Brooklyn. And Conrad, are you with us now by telephone?
Yes, I'm here.
I understand you're back home in your apartment and that you are safe. What did you see?
Yeah.
What did you hear, Conrad?
Well, I was just in the stairwell heading down into the station, and I saw a young man go up to the station booth, and he was bleeding from the legs. His pants were partly down because he was probably had a wound somewhere in his upper legs, and he was very excited, but he was very lucid. He seemed like he was probably otherwise okay. I hope he's still okay and getting treatment. But anyway, he was just reporting what was happening. He seemed to be the first person who was telling what was happening. And he just said that there was a lot of people bleeding.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I heard him say shooting, but I wasn't totally positive when I was thinking about it later. But, it just seemed she was just warning that there was a lot of people injured and bleeding. And, and then, of course,
Conrad, was he walking or was he being carried?
Well, he seemed to have managed to get up from the platform. So, like I just hope he's okay. But he seemed, he took it upon himself to make sure that people were alerted, and despite his being injured. So,
Conrad, at that point, were any first responders on their way in? Did you notice that?
As he was speaking, there was people, there was police, there was emergency vehicles just flooding into the area, as you can imagine.
Tell us a little bit more about that neighborhood, because as I understand, it's filled with a lot of families, a lot of commuters, and I'm assuming, were you headed to work?
Yes, and I was, I would have been there. I just had taken a moment to text my wife, and so it's, I would have seen a lot more. But as it was, I just got out there immediately. I mean, because I just didn't see any point in my being around any longer, because there was obviously emergency vehicles coming. But yeah, it's a neighborhood. It's very diverse. There's a lot of families from all different backgrounds.
Conrad, I just want to bring our viewers a bit more information here. Don't leave, Conrad. According to a source, NYPD, there are, quote, no active devices at this moment. So that may help matters right now as these first responders show up there. Conrad, give us a bit more. I assume you take the train often. On a normal day, what would it look like at this hour, 8:30 in the morning?
Oh, just very, just a rush hour, just a lot of people trying to get places, So, whatever this was, it's, there's a lot of people who could be vulnerable, I would imagine.
Yeah, and Conrad, when you saw the gentleman who was bleeding, were you on the street level, or had you already gone down into the subway below the street?
I was just, to get to the subway, you basically go down one set of stairs, and then you're on a level with the station, like a booth, where they would, sometimes people used to get MetroCards, but almost no one gets MetroCards there anymore. But then you go down one more flight of steps, and that's the station. So I was in that middle area. I could still see the street from where I was. I was just on the first flight of stairs. So
you were
was quite some distance away from me.
Yeah, you were about halfway down. I assume you retreated at that point after the gentleman started telling you what was happening?
Yeah, I mean, I was, part of me wanted to stick around and see what was happening. I was very curious, but I just thought, I have a family, and I just should just get out of there. I can't do anything to help anyone, really. There's got emergency responders who can do their jobs, and I should just get out of the way and get home safe.
I think that that was a wise decision on your part, and we are so glad that you're safe. No doubt your wife and family are too. It is possible, of course, that if you ride the subway regularly, and you it's unfathomable, but it is possible that these are you might not know them personally, but they're your neighbors, they're your the people that you live with, and I know that can be quite harrowing as well, Conrad.
Yeah, well, a lot of things happen. I'm more on the lookout for other kinds of incidents, I guess, than maybe a mass shooting. That's something I think about. I mean, I'm Asian American. I'm maybe more concerned about someone attacking me for being Asian, or attacking my family members. My wife, for example. So this was sort of whatever this is, it's kind of a bolt out of the blue. I mean, you know, if you're thinking about anything that could be a mass incident, it's just a little bit. You know, you don't usually think of it. You know, if you think of it,